Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakалпатароргалитам phalam sukamakatamrita dravasamyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam mugharagorasika bhuvibhavakaha Narayanam namaskritya naran chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye अष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद. Okay, so we are supposed to read two verses. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilala 5.21 and 22. Chapter title is The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balrama. प्रेम नेत्रे देखे तारा स्वरूप प्रकाशा गोप गोपी संज्ञान्हा कृष्णेर विलासा. Translation. But with eyes of love of Godhead, one can see its real identity as the place where Lord Krishna performs his pastimes with the cowherd boys and cowherd girls. Then 52, 5.52, this is verse from Brahma Samhita. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha lakshavrateshu shurabhirabhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra satasambhrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending cows, yielding all desires in the abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. Of course, it's a very long purport. Most of our time will go in reading this purport, but it's good to focus on the purport. So, generally what happens is that when we get a long purport, everybody goes to sleep. So, in order to keep everyone awake, my proposal is that each paragraph one person could read. So I will start by reading the first paragraph.
Jai.
And then one person can read one paragraph. This way we can be awake. This is a verse from Brahma Samhita 5.29. This description of the abode of Krishna gives us definite information of the transcendental place where not only life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, but there are ample vegetables, milk, jewels, beautiful homes, gardens tended by lovely damsels, who are all goddesses of fortune. Krishna Loka is the topmost planet in the spiritual sky, and below it are innumerable spheres, a description of which can be found in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the beginning of Lord Brahma's self-realization, he was shown the transcendental vision of Vaikuntha spheres by the grace of Narayana. Later, by the grace of Krishna, he was shown the transcendental vision of Krishna Loka. This transcendental vision is like the reception of television from the moon via mechanical system for receiving modulated waves, but it is achieved by penance and meditation within oneself. Okay, any volunteers for reading the next paragraph?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji. I'll do the next paragraph.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, states that in Vaikuntha Loka, the material modes of nature represented by the qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance have no influence. In the material world, the highest qualitative manifestation is goodness, which is characterized by truthfulness, mental equilibrium, cleanliness, control of the senses, simplicity, essential knowledge, faith in God, scientific knowledge, and so on. Nevertheless, all these qualities are mixed with passion and imperfection. But the qualities in Vaikuntha are a manifestation of God's internal potency, and therefore they are purely spiritual and transcendental. with no trace of material infection. No material planet, even Satyaloka, is comparable in quality to the spiritual planets, where the five inherent qualities of the material world, namely ignorance, misery, egoism, anger, and envy, are completely absent. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much, Sundar Rupa Prabhu. Can we
Hare
have the next volunteer to read the next paragraph?
I'll read this, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
In the material world, everything is a creation. Anything we can think of within our experience, including even our own bodies and minds, was created. This process of creation began with the life of Brahma, and the creative principle is prevalent all over the material universe because of the quality of passion. But since the quality of passion is conspicuous by its absence in the Vaikuntha planets, nothing there is created. Everything there is eternally existent. And because there is no mode of ignorance, there is also no question of annihilation or destruction. In the material world, one may try to make everything permanent by developing the above mentioned qualities of goodness, but because the goodness in the material world is mixed with passion and ignorance, nothing here can exist permanently, despite all the good plans of the best scientific brains. Therefore, in the material world, we have no experience of eternity, bliss, and fullness of knowledge. But in the spiritual world, because of this complete absence of the qualitative modes, everything is eternal, blissful, and cognizant. Everything can speak, everything can move, everything can hear, and everything can see in fully blessed existence for eternity. The situation being so naturally space, the situation being so naturally space and time in the forms of past, present, and future have no influence there. In the spiritual sky, there is no change because time has no influence. Consequently, the influence of Maya, the total external energy, which induces us to become more and more materialistic and forget our relationship with God, is also absent there.
Thank you very much, Harikishore Prabhu. Can we have the next volunteer to read the next paragraph?
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Can I go ahead, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
As spiritual sparks of the beings emanating from the transcendental body of the Lord, we are all permanently related with Him and equal to Him in quality. The material energy is a covering of the spiritual spark. But in the absence of that material covering, the living beings in Vaikuntha Loka are never forgetful of their identities. They are eternally cognizant of their relationship with God in their constitutional position of rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. Because they constantly engage in the transcendental service of the Lord, it is natural to conclude that their senses are also transcendental. For one cannot serve the Lord with material senses. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha Loka do not possess material senses with which to lord it over material nature. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji.
We'll read the next.
Yeah.
Persons with a poor fund of knowledge conclude that a, a place void of material qualities must be some sort of formless nothingness. In reality, however, there are qualities in the spiritual world, but they are different from the material quality because everything there is eternal, unlimited, and pure. The atmosphere there is self illuminating, and thus there is no need of a sun, moon, fire, electricity, and so on. One who can reach that abode does not come back into this material world. Oops. I'm reading from cell phone. It's tough.
Yeah. Go on, Prabhuji.
So the material world with a material body, there is no difference between atheists and faithful in the Vaikuntha planet because all who settle there are free
From the material qualities.
from the material qualities.
And thus the Suras and Asuras.
Thus the Suras and Asuras become equally obedient, loving servitors of the Lord.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Next volunteer.
Hare Krishna Babu Dandavatpanam. The residents of Vaikuntha have brilliantly black complexions, much more fascinating and attractive than the dull white black complexion found uh, in the material world. Their bodies, being spiritual, have no equal in the material world. The beauty of a bright cloud when lightning flashes on it merely hints at their beauty. Generally, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha dress in yellow clothing. Their bodies are delicate and attractively built, and their eyes are like the petals of lotus flowers. Like Lord Vishnu, the residents of Vaikuntha have four hands decorated with a conch shell, wheels, club, and lotus flower. Their chests are beautifully broad and fully decorated with necklace of a brilliant and diamond-like metal surrounded by costly jewels never to be found in the material world. The residents of Vaikuntha are always powerful and effulgent. Some of them have complexions like red coral cat's eyes and lotus flowers, and each of them has earrings of costly jewels. On, on their hands, they
Okay.
wear flowery crowns resembling garlands.
Thank you very
Hari,
much, Prabhu.
Hari.
The next volunteer for the next.
Into Vaikut, there are airplanes, but they make no turbulence sound. Material airplanes are not at all safe. They can fall down and crash at any time, for matter is imperfect in every respect. In the spiritual sky, however, the airplanes are also spiritual, and they are spiritually brilliant and bright. These airplanes do not fly business executive, politician, or planning commission as a passenger, nor do they carry cargo or postal bags, for these are all unknown there. Their planes are for pleasure trips only, and the residents of Vaikuta fly in them, where the heavenly, beautifully fairy like consoles. Therefore, the plains full of residents of Vaikuntha, both male and female, increase the beauty of the spiritual sky. We cannot imagine how beautiful they are, but they beautifully beauty, but their beauty may be compared to the beauty of the spiritual sky. We cannot imagine how beautiful they are, but their beauty may be compared to the clouds in the sky, accompanied by the silver brains of electrical lighting. The spiritual sky of Vaikutloka is always decorated in this way.
Thank you, Jayaprakash Prabhu. So next person can read 2 paragraphs.
Can I go ahead, Prabhuji?
Yes, Ji.
Hare Krishna. The full opulence of the internal potency of Godhead is always resplendent in Vaikuntha Loka, where goddesses of fortune are ever increasingly attached to serving the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. These goddesses of fortune, accompanied by their friends, always create a festive atmosphere of transcendental mirth, always singing the glories of the Lord. They are not silent even for a moment. There are unlimited Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, and the ratio of these planets to the material planets in the material sky is 3 to 1. Thus, the poor materialist is busy making political adjustments on a planet that is most insignificant in God's creation. To say nothing of this planet Earth, the whole universe, with innumerable planets throughout the galaxies, is comparable to a single mustard seed in a bag full of mustard seeds. But the poor materialist makes plans to live comfortably here and thus waste his valuable human energy in something that is doomed to be frustration, doomed to frustration. Instead of wasting his time with business speculations, he should seek the life of plain living and high spiritual thinking and thus save himself from perpetual materialistic unrest. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vajranabha Prabhu. Can we have the next volunteer to read the next paragraph?
I will go ahead, Prabhu.
Please, Prabhuji.
Even if a materialist wants to enjoy the developed material facilities, he can transfer himself to the planets where he can experience the material pleasures much more advanced than those available on Earth. The best plan is to prepare oneself to return to the spiritual sky after leaving the material body. However, if one is intent of enjoying the material facilities, one can transfer himself to other planets in the material sky by utilizing the yogic powers. The playful spaceships of astronauts are but childish entertainment and are of no use for this purpose. The Ashtanga Yoga system is a materialistic art of controlling the air by transferring it from the stomach to the navel, from navel to the heart, and from heart to the collarbone, from there to eyeballs, from there to cerebellum, and from there to desired planet. The velocities of the air and light are taken into consideration by the materialist scientist, but he has no information of the velocity of the mind and intelligence. We have some limited experience of the velocity of the mind because in a moment we can transfer our minds to the places hundreds and thousands of miles away. Intelligence is even finer. Than intelligence is the soul, which is not matter like mind and intelligence, but is spirit and antimatter. Soul is hundreds and thousands of times finer and more powerful than intelligence. We can thus only imagine the velocity of soul in traveling from one planet to another. Needless to say, soul travels by its own strength and not with the help of any kind of material vehicle.
Thank you, Vikram Prabhu. Can we have the next volunteer to read 2 paragraphs?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please read.
Bestial civilization of eating, sleeping, fearing, and sense gratification has misled modern man into forgetting how powerful a soul he has. As we have already described the soul in a spiritual spark, many times more illuminating, dazzling, and powerful than the sun, moon, or electricity. Human life is spoiled when man does not realize his real identity with the soul. Lord Chaitanya appeared with Lord Nityananda to save man from the type of misleading civilization. Srimad Bhagavatam also describes how yoga can travel to all the planets in the universe. When the vital force is lifted to the cerebellum, there in every chance that this force will burst out from the eyes, nose, ears, etc. But the yogis can block these holes by complete suspension of air. The yogi then concentrates the vital force in the middle position, that is between the eyebrows. At this position, the yogi can think of the planet to which he wants to go after leaving the body. He can then decide whether he wants to go to the abode of Krishna in the transcendental Vaikunthas, from which he will not require to descend into the material world or to travel to higher planets in the material universe. The perfect yogi is at liberty to do either. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopali Mataji. The next volunteer to read the next paragraph.
For the perfect yogi who has attained success in the method of leaving his body in perfect consciousness, transferring from one planet to another is as easy as an ordinary man's walking to the grocery store. As already discussed, the material body is just a covering of the spiritual soul. Mind and intelligence are the undercoverings, and the gross body of earth, water, air, and so on is the overcoating of the soul. As such, any advanced soul who has realized himself by the yogic process, who knows the relationship between matter and spirit, can leave the gross dress of the soul in perfect order and as he desires. By the grace of God, we have complete freedom. Because the Lord is kind to us, we can live anywhere, either in the spiritual sky or in the material sky, upon whichever planet we desire. However, misuse of this freedom causes one to fall down into the material world and suffer the threefold miseries of conditioned life. The living of a miserable life in the material world by dint of the soul's choice is nicely illustrated by Milton in Paradise Lost. Similarly, by choice, the soul can regain paradise and return home back to Godhead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So can we have the next volunteer reading 2 paragraphs?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please read.
At the critical time of death, one can place the vital force between the two eyebrows and decide where he wants to go. If he is reluctant to maintain any connection with the material world, he can in less than reach the transcendental abode of Vaikuntha and appear there completely in his spiritual body, which
will be suitable for him.
is suitable for him in the spiritual atmosphere. He has simply to desire to leave the material world, both
in finer and in
the
grosser
finer and in grosser forms, and then move the vital force to the topmost part of the skull and leave the body through the hole in the skull called the Brahma Randhra. This is easy for one perfect in the practice of yoga. Of course, man is endowed with free will, and as such, if he does not want to free himself from the material world, he may enjoy the life of Brahmapada, occupation of the post of Brahma, and visit Siddhaloka, the planets of materially perfect beings who have full capacities to control gravity, space, and time. To visit these higher planets in the material universe, one need not give up his mind and intelligence, finer matter, but need only give up grosser matter, the material body.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So the next volunteer can read 2 more paragraphs.
Each and every planet has its particular atmosphere, and if one wants to travel to any particular planet within the material universe, one has to adapt his material body to the climate condition of that planet. For instance, if one wants to go from India to the Europe, where the climate condition is different, one has to change his dress accordingly. Similarly, a complete change of the body is necessary if one wants to go to the transcendental planets of Vaikuntha. However, if one wants to go to the higher material planets, he can keep his finer dress of mind, intelligence, and ego, but has to leave his gross dress body made of the earth, water, fire, etc. When one goes to the transcendental planet, it is necessary to change both the finer and gross bodies, for one has to reach the spiritual sky completely in a spiritual form. This change of the dress will take place automatically at the time of the death if one so desires.
Okay, I will read 2 paragraphs. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that one will attain his next material body according to his desires at the time he leaves the body. The desire of the mind carries the soul to its suitable atmosphere as wind carries aroma from one place to another. Unfortunately, those who are not yogis but gross materialists, who throughout their lives indulge in sense gratification, or puzzled by the disarrangement of the bodily and mental condition at the time of death. Such gross sensualists, encumbered by the main ideas, desires, and associations of their life they have led, desire something against their interests and thus foolishly take on new bodies that perpetuate their material miseries. Systematic training of mind and intelligence is therefore needed so that at the time of death, one may consciously desire a suitable body, either in this planet or another material planet or even a transcendental planet. A civilization that does not consider the progressive advancement of immortal soul merely fosters a bestial life of ignorance. Okay, next volunteer to read one more paragraph. Anybody?
Yeah, if no one is here, then I can read again.
Yeah, please.
Text by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is foolish to think that every soul that passes away goes to the same place. Either the soul goes to a place he desires at the time of death, or upon leaving his body, he is forced to accept a position according to his acts in his previous life. The difference between the materialist and the yogi is that a materialist cannot determine his next body, whereas a yogi can consciously attain a suitable body for enjoyment in the higher planets. Throughout his life, the gross materialist, who is constantly after sense gratification, spends all day earning his livelihood to maintain his family, and at night he wastes his energy in sex enjoyment or else goes to sleep thinking about all he has done in the daytime. That is the monotonous life of the materialist. Although differently graded as businessmen, lawyers, politicians, professors, judges, coolies, pickpockets, laborers, and so on. Materialists all simply engage in eating, sleeping, feeding, and sense gratification and thus spoil their valuable lives, pursuing luxury and neglecting to perfect their lives through spiritual realization.
Okay, one more paragraph. One more volunteer.
Yogis, however, try to perfect their lives, and therefore the Bhagavad Gita enjoins that everyone should become a yogi. Yoga is the system for linking the soul in the service of the Lord. Only under superior guidance can one practice such yoga in his life without changing his social position. As already described, a yogi can go anywhere he desires without mechanical help. For a yogi can place his mind and intelligence within the air circulating inside his body, and by practicing the art of breath control, he can mix that air air with the air that blows all over the universe outside his body. With the help of this universal air, a yogi can travel to any planet and get a body suitable for its atmosphere. We can understand this process by comparing it to the electro-transmission of radio messages. With radio transmitters, sound waves produced at a certain station can travel all over the earth in, in seconds. But sound is produced from the ethereal sky, and at already explained, subtler than the ethereal sky is the mind, and the finer than the mind is the intelligence. Spirit is still finer than the intelligence, and by nature it is completely different from matter. Thus, we can just imagine how quickly the spirit soul can travel through the universal atmosphere. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So somebody else can read two paragraphs.
To come to the stage of manipulating finer elements like mind, intelligence, and spirit, one needs appropriate training, an appropriate mode of life, and appropriate association. Such training depends upon sincere prayers, devotional service, achievement of success in mystic perfection, and the successful merging of oneself in the activities of the soul and the super soul. A gross materialist, whether he be an empiric philosopher, a scientist, a philosopher, a psychologist, or whatever, cannot attain such success through blunt efforts and word jugglery. Materialists who perform yagnas or great sacrifices are comparatively better than grosser materialists who do not know anything beyond laboratories and test tubes. The advanced materialists who perform such sacrifices can reach the planet called Vaishwanara, a fairy planet similar to the Sun. On this planet, which is situated on the way to Brahmaloka, the topmost planet in the universe, such an advanced materialist can free himself from all traces of vice and its effects. When such a materialist is purified, he can rise to the orbit of the pole star Dhruvaloka. Within this orbit, which is called Shishumara Chakra, are situated the Aditya Lokas and the Vaikuntha planet within this universe.
Okay, so next person can read the next paragraph, please.
I can read, Prabhu. Can I
Yeah,
read?
yeah.
Haribol, Prabhu. Dhanyavad. A purified materialist who has performed many sacrifices, undergoes severe finances, and even the major portion of his wealth in charity can reach such planet as Dhruvaloka. And if he becomes still more qualified there, he can penetrate still higher orbits and pass through the navel of the universe to reach the planets Maharloka, where sages like Bhrigu Muni live. In Maharloka, one can live even at the time of the partial annihilation of the universe. This annihilation begins when Anantadeva, from the lowest portion in the universe, produces a great blazing fire. The heat of this fire reaches even Maharloka, and then the residents of Maharloka travel to Brahmaloka, which exists for twice the duration of Parardha time.
Okay, so next paragraph.
Hare Krishna.
In the Brahmaloka, there is an unlimited number of airplanes that are controlled not by yantra, machine, but by the mantra, psychic action. Because of the existence of the mind and intelligence on a Brahmaloka, its residents have feeling of happiness, distress, but there is no cause of lamentation from old age, death, fear, or distress. They feel sympathy, however, for the suffering living beings whose are consumed in the fire of annihilation. The residents of the Brahmaloka do not have gross material body to change at the death, but they transform their subtle body into the spiritual body and thus enter the spiritual sky. The residents of the Brahmaloka can attain perfection in three different ways. A virtuous person who reach Brahmaloka by dint of their pious work because becomes the master of the various planets after the resurging of the Brahma.
Perfection of Brahma.
Resurging of the Brahma. Those who have worshipped Garbhodaksha Vishnu are liberated with the Brahma, and those who are pure devotee of of the personality Godhead at one push through the covering of the universe and enter the spiritual sky.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So next paragraph, somebody else can read.
The numberless universes exist together in foam like clusters, and so only some of them are surrounded by the water of the causal ocean. When agitated by the glance of Karanodakasai Vishnu, material nature produces the total elements, which are 8 in number and which gradually evolve from finer to gross. A part of ego is the sky, a part of which is air, a part of which is fire, a part of which is water, a part of which is earth. Thus, one universe inflates to an area of 4 billion miles in diameter. A yogi who desires gradual liberation must penetrate all the different coverings of the universe, including the subtle coverings of the three qualitative modes of material nature. One who does this never has to return to this material world.
According to Sakadeva Goswami, the above descriptions of the material and spiritual skies are neither imaginary nor utopian. The actual facts are recorded in the Vedic hymns, and Lord Vasudeva disclosed them to Lord Brahma when Brahma satisfied him. One can achieve the perfection of life only when he has a definite idea of Vaikuntha, the Supreme Godhead. One should always think about and describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for this is recommended both in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavata Purana, which are two authorized commentaries upon the Vedas. Lord Chaitanya has made all these subject matters easier for the fallen people of this age to accept, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has therefore presented them for the easy understanding of all concerned. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुलंगायते कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं जगन्नाथं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरं कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् स्मृते प्रीतं स्यात् श्री चैतन्यं नमामि तम्. Hare Krishna. As you can see, it's a very, very long purport. It has taken almost 40 minutes time for us to read this purport. But it's a very interesting purport. Why it is interesting? Because this purport shows that what complicated mess we have got ourselves into. There is so many planetary systems, all these different arrangements of mind, intelligence, false ego, and then there is this yogic process by which one has to control the mind, or there is the process of pious karma by which one has to make many yajnas, or then we are left to being gross materialists who have no control over anything, who are just left at the mercy of the material nature. So therefore, we can see that our situation is very dangerous, especially in Kali Yuga. We don't have any access to all these yogic systems, yogic processes, etc. And it is very difficult even to understand this. It is just a long purport. If it is not a good day, and if just one person is reading this purport, it is very likely that most of us will sleep off, including me. Very, very likely. So we have to make different arrangements so that at least we can listen to this purport. So we have to ask different people to read. We have to have lower attention span. We have to have change of voice. So many things we have to do just to read one small purport. Because mind is so imbalanced. Mind is so completely distracted that even to read a purport for 40 minutes, one important subject matter for 40 minutes, which actually contains information which of life and death, we cannot concentrate. This is our exact situation. So therefore, Lord Nityananda's mercy and Lord Chaitanya's mercy is something which we have to grab with both the hands. We have to grab with both the hands. It is something which was never given before, and till the next day of Brahma, it is not going to be available. So somehow or other, we can say that we are the wrong people at the right time. And then just being wrong people itself has become the qualification to become the right people. So the wrong people at the right time have become the right people at the right time, because Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are looking for each and every one of us. They are thinking that where are all these guys who don't know anything? Where are all these guys who are so unfortunate? Let us make their life fortunate. So in this purport, there's so much of explanation about yogi, about karmi, about devotee, about the spiritual world, about the material world. So many different explanations Prabhupada has given for our proper consideration. That what are we doing with our life? It's a very important question. What are we doing with our life? Our life can be spent in two ways. One way is that we can try to spend our life trying to count our fortune, which we can earn in terms of money or position or glory within the material world. Or we can count our fortune in terms of the good fortune which Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda have brought this world together. So it is a very important consideration. This life is not going to be eternal. A very limited time, small window we have. We don't have a long window. We have a small window. Within this small window, the time every day is just going away. Bhagavatam is saying, Ayur harati vaipumsam udyan astanchayanasau tasyarte yachano nita uttama shloka vartaya. That simply sun by rising and setting is taking away one day from us. We cannot even protest to sun. We cannot tell sun, oh, Mr. Sun, don't take away one day from me. We don't have any control. Ayur harati vaipumsam. Just taking away. Time is ticking off. Ayur harati vaipumsam. Time is going away. And every day we are approaching death. And we don't know when we are going to die, of course. But we know for sure that every day we are approaching death. Sometimes I think that we are the most craziest living entities in the world, the human being. Why? Because every year we celebrate our approach to death, but when someone actually dies, we start crying. Every year we are celebrating birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to... Means what? That you are closer to death. You are closer to death. This is what happy birthday to you means. So life is slipping away. Opportunity is slipping away from our hands. The opportunity to grab the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and take up this very, very simple process. Lord Chaitanya knows that if he complicates this process, we will not be able to take up. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya gave the process in a very, very simple manner. Our process, our austerity is to eat, sing, and dance. This is our austerity. Our austerity is that we should eat, we should sing, we should dance. This is our austerity. We cannot do anything more than this in Kali Yuga. We don't have capacity to do anything more than this in Kali Yuga. We are only fit for eating, singing, and dancing. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya made this process of eating, singing, and dancing as the process of devotional service by which we can attain the highest perfection even the yogis cannot attain. In Brahma Samhita, Brahma is saying, Pantastu koti satavarsara sampragamyo vayoratapi manaso munipungavanam sopyastiyat prapada simni avichintya tatver govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. Great yogis, hundreds and thousands of years, they are actually controlling their life here, their mind, their senses, and they are trying to achieve perfection. And such perfected yogis, they cannot even think about the small shine on the toenail of Krishna. This is their position. But here, if I ask in this class that how many of you want to go to Goloka Vrindavana, I am sure that everybody will raise our hands. That will go to Goloka. But how did we get this information that we can go to Goloka? How did we get the audacity to think that we can go to Goloka? That is due to Lord Chaitanya's mercy. That is due to Lord Nityananda's mercy. That mercy is available. It is freely available. It's freely available. And we have to simply grab that mercy. We have to simply utilize that mercy. We have to actually see how we can use our life to get the transcendental realization by chanting the holy name of the Lord, by actually singing the name, by taking prasad, and by dancing in front of the deity. The process of eating, singing, dancing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narottama Das Thakur is singing Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. That the name is already mixed with prema. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to mix prema into the name. The name is already mixed with prema. The only thing we need to do is to hear while we are chanting. This is what we need to do. We need to simply hear the transcendental sound vibration when we are chanting. And we need to take up some service. We need to render some service to the temple, to the yatra, or to the spiritual master. Everything is same only. Service to spiritual master is service to temple, service to yatra, or service to temple, yatra is service to the spiritual master. We should do something. We should do something. And then we should try to clearly think. We should try to clearly think that what we are losing in trying to get what we are getting. This is a very important question which we need to ask. What we are losing in trying to get what we are getting. We are running behind something in our life. We have to run behind something. Whether we like or we don't like. We have to run behind something. And we are already running behind something. So anyway, we have to run behind something. Anyway, we have to do it. Then why not run behind a pure devotee? Krishna said, Tomar, Krishna dite par, Tomara shakati ache. Ami to kangal, Krishna, Krishna boli, dahi tava pache pache. Narottam Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing that Krishna is yours. You can give Krishna. That is within your power. I have nothing. I can only chant Krishna's name and I can run behind it. This is the only thing I can do. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. So why not try to do that? Why not try to do that? Why not stop running behind so many different things which we are running? This is a very important meditation which we should have. This is a question which we need to ask ourselves. It's a question we need to ask ourselves. That there is one opportunity, and it's a wonderful opportunity. This opportunity has presented itself. We did not go behind that opportunity, but can we utilize it fully? That is the question. If we utilize it fully, it is our good fortune. If we don't utilize it fully, it is our misfortune. And then if we have to get this opportunity again, we have to wait for one more day of Brahma. It's too much of waiting. It's too much of waiting. So therefore, it behooves our intelligence. It behooves our intelligence. We are looking for one car, one house, some bank balance. We are looking for some things, big, small, whatever it is. We are looking for something, some tax saving, whatever it is. But you think, what is my home? Nityananda Prabhu is showing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing, you think about your home. Chintamani Prakara Sadma Shukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vrateshu Shurabhi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevya Manam. We know that is Krishna's home. But we also should understand that is our home. Because Krishna's home is our home. That is our home. We are trying to struggle for some small things here. But our home is full of desire trees. If we go and ask the desire tree whatever we want, then desire tree will give. We are struggling here for small things. You want to buy one house, then you have to buy a mortgage for X number of years. You want to buy one car, you have to pay a loan for X number of years. But the spiritual world is not like that. Whatever you want, you can immediately get, because anything you want, you simply want for the service of Krishna. You don't want for sense gratification. So therefore, everything you can get. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they came to show us that how to make this material world into spiritual world, simply by chanting the holy name, simply by accepting Krishna Prasad, simply by agreeing to dance in front of the deity, how to make the material world into spiritual world. And ultimately, in the same consciousness, how to go back to the spiritual world. Not to get stuck in some Janaloka, Maharaloka, Tapaloka, or Brahmaloka, or within the covering of this material world, not to get stuck within the casual ocean, but to penetrate everything and then simply go there. Simply go there. Simply by the process of chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So therefore, this purport, it gives us a lot to think about. It's a long purport. There are many information which is given here. The information about the spiritual world, the information about the material world, the information about the inhabitants of the spiritual world, the information about the different class of inhabitants of the material world and their respective destinations, and then the actual purpose of human life, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, everything has been wonderfully explained by Prabhupada in this purport in a manner that which can easily understand, we can appreciate. That is the beauty of Prabhupada. That the most complicated thing, he just breaks it down into a very, very understandable way, logical way, simple way. People are trying to spend lifetimes to understand this. But just by reading one purport for about 30, 40 minutes, we have understood everything. So therefore, we are the most fortunate. We are the most fortunate. But whether we will remain most fortunate or we will become most unfortunate, that is in our hands only. That is in our hands only. Lord Chaitanya is lifting both his hands. He is standing in Mayapur. He is lifting both his hands. He is calling everybody, come, 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 come. I am going to give you mercy. Come, come, come. And Lord Nityananda and Lord Gadadhar Pandit, they are actually standing on both his sides. And by one hand, they are lifting and calling everyone, please come. Other hand, they are showing Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. They are saying, take shelter of these feet. He is free of cost. Please take shelter of these feet. Make your life perfect. And other side, both sides, there is Srivas Pandit and there is Advaita Acharya. They are very happy. They are saying, please come, please, please. They are holding their hands and they are begging, please come, please come. Please see, your good fortune is here. Please come, take shelter, take shelter. So therefore, the greatest good fortune, the wealth of the spiritual existence was delivered in this Kali Yuga by Lord Chaitanya, by Nityananda. It is now given in our hands by Prabhupada. So if we simply agree to utilize that great wealth, if we simply agree to take advantage of the great wealth, our life will be successful. Hare Krishna. Any question, comment, or anything you want to say? Or anything you want to ask? We have about 5 minutes.
Dear devotees, any questions, comments? Go ahead.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So, Prabhu, in this description, Prabhupada beautifully described the material planets, planetary system, or spiritual planet, and residents also, right?
Yes.
About residents. And yeah, so our Sikha Guru and others also mentioned earlier about that. But there is some Sisumara planet, and above that there is a Vaikuntha, right?
Yes.
That is different Vaikuntha than from the spiritual Vaikuntha. Can you explain a little bit?
No, that is as Vaikuntha, Prabhupada also explains in this purport. There are the Vaikuntha planets in the material world. where the Vishnu forms are existing, because the Vishnu forms, the Purusha avatars, are in the material world. So therefore, their sphere of activity is material world. But the very fact that they are Vishnu forms, their residence automatically becomes Vaikuntha. So these are Vaikuntha planet, which is there in the material world itself. Within the material world, Vaikuntha has manifested itself. Just like there is Golok Vrindavan, same way there is Bhauma Vrindavan. The Vrindavan which is in Goloka has manifested in the material world as Bhauma Vrindavan. So there is same way Navadip Dham in the Goloka Vrindavan. There is Navadip Dham where the eternal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya is going on. So the same Navadip Dham, Mayapur Dham has manifested in the planet also, the material planet also. So these places are not different from the spiritual world. Same way, the residence of the Purusha avatars is Vaikuntha, which is within the material realm. Prabhupada actually said that in the 4th canto, Prabhupada said that all the ISKCON temples are Vaikuntha. It is there in one purport. Prabhupada says that the ISKCON temples and centers, they are actually Vaikuntha in this material world. Because when we enter into the ISKCON temple or when we enter into the ISKCON center, then we can experience the Vaikuntha atmosphere. Within the ISKCON temple or ISKCON center, then the center is only Krishna. Everybody is trying to serve Krishna. Everybody is trying to please Krishna. Everybody is accepting Krishna as the Lord and Master. So this is the mood of Vaikuntha. So therefore, when we enter the ISKCON temple, immediately we can experience the Vaikuntha atmosphere. So therefore, not only that beyond the Shishumara system, you have to go to actually see the Vaikuntha system in the material world. Simply by agreeing to enter into any ISKCON temple, we can see the Vaikuntha in the material world. Simply by coming to Vrindavan, simply by visiting Mayapur, we can see the spiritual world within the material world.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, another question I have in regarding that. Question Prabhu, this we are the soul, spirit soul, and we are the part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That soul has, I think, that no distinction between the male and female, right? Soul and soul. Is it correct?
No, it is wrong. So the soul, the spiritual world is full of variety. So in the spiritual world, the soul has spiritual form. That spiritual form can be male, it can be female, it can be flower, it can be tree, it can be animal, it can be rock, it can be table, it can be plate, it can be anything. Whatever is the form, the spiritual form the soul has, that particular form of the soul within the spiritual world, it is called his Swarupa. And that Swarupa is full of consciousness, is full of bliss, is full of knowledge. In the material world, a plate is just dead matter. It does not have consciousness, it does not have any knowledge. But in the spiritual world, the plate is also conscious. So the plate is also a soul. That soul whose Swarupa is plate has become a plate. And then he is serving Krishna in that Swarupa. He is serving the devotees in that Swarupa. And he is full of eternality and he is full of knowledge and he is full of bliss. He is completely satisfied in being a plate. He is not thinking that, oh, why I am a plate, I should become gopi. He is not thinking like that. He is completely satisfied in being plate, and he is fully he is serving Krishna or Narayana and Vaikuntha. So in this purport also, we read that in Vaikuntha, there are liberated beings who are souls. They are purely in their spiritual form. They are as consorts. They are as man and woman, and they are flying in the aeroplane. So the aeroplane is also conscious. The men and women who are flying in the aeroplane, they are also conscious. So therefore, it is wrong to think that soul does not have female form, does not have male form. It is wrong to think like that. The different forms of the soul, they are all full of, Vaikuntha is full of spiritual variety, and that variety is made of different forms of the soul. who have their bodies is not different from the soul. So that is called Swarupa. Clear?
Yes, Prabhu. That is completely clear. But if you any other has any question, please ask. After that, I will ask another question. Dandavad Pranam.
Yes. Sudhakar Govinda Prabhu.
Prabhu, there is some of us think, maybe me included, saying that I'll go to Vrindavan, Mayapur. We live in New Jersey, obviously America. Like when we are old, should we stay here and preach, or should we go to Vrindavan or Mayapur? And how do we look at this?
Yeah, it depends on where your service is. You have to be where your service is. That you can see where you can effectively utilize yourself and your service in the most best manner. Accordingly, you should decide where you should go and what you should do. Generally, the decision also should be consulted with the senior devotees or your Shiksha Gurus or the spiritual master. You should not just whimsically decide that when I wanted to go to Mayapur and when I want to settle down in Mayapur, I definitely asked my Shiksha Guru, I asked senior devotees whether I can go to Mayapur, whether I can do something there. And also I asked my spiritual master, His Honor Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and I told him that we have planned to shift to Mayapur. Is it okay? Can we shift? So then he gave me very important advice, because my Yatra leader, he introduced myself to my spiritual master, saying that he is a very good manager. He is occupying very high position here, and he can do nice managerial service in Mayapur. So my spiritual master heard all that, and then he said that being a manager in Karmi world is very, very easy. He said, but being a manager in Mayapur is extremely difficult, because you can manage their people only by inspiration. You cannot manage people by showing money or position or power. You can manage them only by being an inspirational leader yourself. So 13 years in Mayapur, I'm still trying to understand the depth of that advice. So the point is that wherever your service demands, you should be there. And also, if at all, if you shift, you should shift in a new place so that you can do much better services there. You should do more services than what you are currently doing in the new place. That's what you should do. You should not think that I'll go to some new place, then I'll just go there, settle down. Sometimes I mean, it's a little funny. I do get devotees in Mayapur. I ask them that, okay, Prabhuji, what is your skill? What you are doing? Then Prabhuji will say, I am so and so. I did so and so. I have so and so skills. Then sometimes I tell them that we require the same skill in Mayapur. Can you please utilize this skill in Mayapur? They say, oh, 20 years of my life, I did the same thing. Why I should do the same thing again? I want to do something different. Are 20 years Krishna prepared you to do something. You did 20 years of service for Karmi people. Why can't you do the same service for Krishna? That is the perfection of your 20 years of service. Why can't you do the same service of Krishna? So therefore, wherever your service is required, and wherever your service is best utilized, and wherever your time is best utilized, you should stay there. You should try to do the needful. You should have that mood. So that's how you should decide. I hope it helps.
Next follow-up question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
One of my friends was asking me to go to India and do pilgrimage. I'm 46 years old. While I'm young and all those things. And she was saying, she's like 57, 58. She said, look, it's difficult for me to travel to India. It's much easier for you. So just go and do a lot of pilgrimage. And I was thinking, should I do pilgrimage, or should I go and sell books here, or do whatever little preaching I try to do?
So the point is that what is the purpose of pilgrimage? In Kali Yuga, Narottam Das Thakur says, or Bhagavatam says, that Yat Tirtha Buddhi Salilena Karhisich. Means that if one thinks that the place of pilgrimage is a far off place with some little water, and if I go some take bath in that water, my life becomes successful. He says that that person's intelligence is like a cow or an ass. Sayeva Gokaraha. So Prabhupada says place of pilgrimage means you should actually go to that place, you should stay there, and you should actually hear from the pure devotees from there the pastimes of the Lord, And we should try to actually do some service to that place, hearing, chanting, remembering. You should try to do some service to that place. So this is how pilgrimage is done according to our understanding in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Not that coming and then just going is not a pilgrimage. Of course, we can do pilgrimage. Prabhupada recommended that we should go to different places of pastimes of the Lord, especially Mayapur, Vrindavan, Puri, Jagannath Puri, and Dwaraka, like these different places. We should definitely go. You can go and you can, but you should not just go there as sightseeing. There should be a strong, you should go with some nice devotees who can give a lot of Krishna Katha. We can hear a lot of Katha, with which we can come back with some realization and we can engage more enthusiastically in our service. That should be the mood. That should be the mood of going for pilgrimage. Definitely like that.
Follow-up question, Prabhu. I mean, I don't know anybody in Kasi, and she was saying that I should go and spend time in Kasi. That's what my
What is
my
the
friend
use
was
of
saying.
what is the use of going and spending time in Kasi? Kasi, of course, Bindu Madhav is there. You can take darshan of Bindu Madhav, and then after that, what you are going to do? Because these traditional the Smartha Brahmins, they want to go to Kasi and they want to spend some time in Kasi because they think that if I go to Kasi, I can get moksha. But we are not interested in impersonal liberation. We are interested in serving the Lord. So therefore, our place of pilgrimage, Prabhupada said, is Mayapur and Vrindavan and Puri. So during Lord Chaitanya's time, the residents of Navadip, they will walk for 1 month from Puri and from Navadip, and then they will come to Puri. And then for 4 months, they will stay in the Puri with Lord Chaitanya. And then they will walk for 1 month and go back to Navadip. So 6 months they were in pilgrimage. At 6 months, they will do their duty. But that 6 months of pilgrimage was spent in hearing and chanting. It was spent in hearing and chanting and service. That is how that 6 months of pilgrimage was spent, in hearing and chanting and service. That's how it was spent. So simply going to some holy place and then spending some time there, what is the use? There's no use. There's no use. Better you be in New Jersey and preach. You are much better off.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hari Kishore Das here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, it was my great fortune that I met you yesterday, and you shared the project you're doing in Mayapur. So can you please talk about it for like 1 or 2 minutes, so others also know about it, and if they want to.
So my main purpose of coming to, thank you very much, Prabhuji. My main purpose of coming to the United States of America is actually to promote the Mayapur hospital project. ISKCON Mayapur is making a hospital. We already have a small hospital in Mayapur, which we are upgrading, and we have many facilities there now. This is for the sake of the residents and the pilgrims who are coming, and also for the sake of Dhamvasis. And then we are also building a 100-bed hospital. The hospital building is more or less completed. The hospital building is more or less completed. Now we are doing some internal works in the hospital. We require about $1 million to actually complete the project and then put it for public use. It's about 8 crore rupees that we need to complete the project and put it to public use. We have already collected in India and spent also about $3.5 million total in this project. And still the construction of the 100-bed hospital is going on. Our intention is to offer this project to the devotees and to the public service by next year, so that before the TOEP opens in 2027, the hospital will be fully operational and it will be available for all the devotees from all over the world who are going to come in lakhs and lakhs numbers for the opening of the TOEP. So this is the main aim for which I came to USA, and I'm traveling and going to different places. This is the reason why I'm here. I can I don't know, maybe Krishnaman Prabhu knows this group. So I will share, I have already shared the details of this project to Krishnaman Prabhu, and I will share to him once again. So he can share to this group. And I request all of you that whatever you can contribute to this noble cause, you can please contribute. All the donations are collected by ISKCON New Vrindavan. This is a local donation you are making in USA. So therefore, you will get tax receipt also. So there is a tax advantage also is there. So what you have to do is that when you get the brochure, in the brochure there's a QR code. I will show the brochure. In the brochure there's a QR code. You can just scan that QR code. It will take you to that particular website. This is the brochure, and the brochure, and there is a QR code. There's a QR code in the bottom. You can see one QR code is there. If you scan, also near the QR code, it is written scan the QR code. If you scan the QR code, it will take you to the website. And from there, you can make your donation. Whatever donation you can make is very good. The normal, we have 3 important schemes. One scheme is donation of $1,000 per month for 12 months. You can donate about $1,000 per month for 12 months. This is one important scheme. The other scheme is that you can donate for a bed. One ICU bed costs $5,500, or one normal bed costs $3,500. So you can donate even monthly also. There's no need to donate one time. If you go to the website, you will find all the options. Option for monthly donation, one-time donation, everything is there. So you can sign up. You can give your credit card, debit card, or you can give your bank account, and automatically for 12 months, the money will get debited, and then money will come to us. So it's a very humble request. Please try to do some service for Mayapur Dham. It's a very, very important service. We are serving a lot of Dhamvasis and devotees. Last year, we served about 42,000 patients. This year, we have served more than 50,000 patients already. We hope to serve more than 60,000 patients this year. Very, very important service, very, very required service in Mayapur. Even when devotees come, if they fall sick, they become very anxious. So then when we have a good facility, then it will be very, very helpful for all of us. Hare Krishna. Yes, Sudhakar Prabhu.
Prabhu, what is that sloka you mentioned? Yasmin Sayeva Gokaram, Yasmin Salile.
So it is said there in Bhagavatam, there is one sloka that a person who actually considers his body, which is made of Kapha, Vata and Pitta, to be his own identity, a person who considers his family relationships as permanent, a person who thinks that his place of birth is something great, is attached to his nationality, and a person who actually thinks that going to pilgrimage means going for a far-off place with little water and taking bath there, such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. This is the sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam.
I'm trying to search for the sloka. That's why I'm asking for it. Like the Sanskrit.
Yasyatma buddhi
Yasyatma
kunape
buddhi
tridhatuke.
kunape tridhatuke. So you search for tridhatuke, or you can search for kunape, then you will get Yasyatma buddhi. It's a 10th canto sloka. Yasyatma
Okay,
buddhi.
1084:13. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, any other question, comment? Anybody wants to say something? Of course, I am very grateful to Hari Kishore Prabhu, because he agreed to also offer some professional services to the project. He is a network architect, and he agreed to review the entire network contract for the project and then make some suggestions. Yesterday, we had a very nice discussion in his house. Okay, any questions, anything about the class?
Prabhu, one question here regarding the TUVP.
Yes.
TUVP is going to open 27, or it is is telling that 22, 24, 27, like this. So, Prabhu, what is the actual date?
I am not handling TOP, but I have been told by the TOP management that they are very serious about opening in TOP by 2027. That is why Mayapur management is very keen to open the hospital by 2026. That's the reason why I came here. So 2027, in my opinion, seems to be a very, very serious date. Seems to be a very, very serious date. Of course, everything is in the hands of Krishna and Mahaprabhu, but it seems to be a very serious date.
Hare
Of
Krishna,
course,
Prabhu.
they were previously thinking of opening much earlier, but in all fairness, COVID was a great disruptor. Because I live in Mayapur, I know how fast the work was going pre-COVID, and the money was also flowing pre-COVID. But the 2 years of break during the COVID time, it was a break. It was a great disruptor, and from that, then almost it took more than 1.5 years just to pick up the pace again. Just to pick up the pace again, and especially I am actually from project management. All my life I did project management. And I know that especially a lot of time takes place in finishing work. The building we can easily construct, but doing finishing, it takes a lot of time. And the best way to do finishing is to continuously work. And if you break, then too many problems happen. Then too many problems happen. People also get different ideas. The finishing work is a very intricate work. So we have to consider all that also.
Okay, Prabhu, Dandavat, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhu, sorry, Prabhu. You said you're project management by profession.
Yeah.
What kind of project management, Prabhu? Construction project management? I'm just being curious than anything else.
Yeah. I am a MEP project manager. I was
IT?
an MEP project manager.
IT?
No. I had nothing to do with IT. I am a mechanical engineer. As a project manager, managing building services. We used to do huge projects, and I used to manage building services as part of my project management. So mechanical work, electrical work, plumbing work, AC work, this kind of stuff. That was my previous profession, which is how I ended up building the hospital.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harilila Prabhu, for wonderfully explaining, very instructive, simplified class, chanting, feasting, dancing, following Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Panchatattva's mercy, and the guidance of Sri Prabhupada and our spiritual masters. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Hare Ram. Thank you.
Hare Vanchakalpatarabhasya कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो वैष्णववृन्द की
Jai. Thank you, everybody. Haribol.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. I'll see you all tomorrow, class. Thank you, Hare Krishna.